Well, our guest tonight, excitingly enough, is one of the hosts of The Dollop, and he was my first comedy boyfriend. So please welcome to the stage, Dave Anthony.
Yay! Oh, that's awesome.
Hi. You
Dave,
guys are at a table and I'm over here.
I know.
Get in here.
Let's scoot it on over.
Yeah,
I can't get
We'll
it.
Charlie Rose this thing.
I have
Charlie Rose the shit out of
sciatica.
it. How is that, by the way? I had a friend in
great.
New York who had the sciatica
Did he?
thing.
How did she cure it?
Oh, she didn't make it.
Oh, that's awful news.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have brought that up.
Fuck's sake.
You know what? I don't remember how she
doesn't
cured,
matter.
but you're probably getting a lot of suggestions.
I'm getting so many, but very nice ones. Thank you, everyone.
That's good. Because that's I remember her going through it. It was terrible.
It sucks. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I had a little back thing.
You know, some people have war in their country, so it's hard to complain about.
Yeah.
Sciatica.
You know what? Don't complain about your own pain because people have been to war.
Yeah, it's fine.
So
That's actually an America's Next Top Model quote that I just love. I'm not kidding. There was some girl.
That's
like,
real?
You know when they do the the go-sees on the show, and they're like they have to run around and like find their own way. And there was one girl who was like from fucking like Croatia, and they didn't make it to a go-see, and the other girl who's like from fucking Utah was like freaking out and crying, and the Croatian girl goes, "Some people have war in their country." That was like 10 years ago, and I still say it because it's so true.
Yeah.
well, but that's a classic Croatian saying.
I mean, they'll always have the one up because they can always throw that in your face. It's like, I get it.
That accent where you're like, all right.
There we go.
Some people bring war to your country.
That's our country.
Dave, will you please tell us about your favorite murder?
Oh my God.
David, this is our first guest favorite
I know.
murder.
I went back and I was like, well, they've had to have a guest on, and you guys hadn't.
No, we don't.
Very first.
We expressly do not.
Yeah. Elvis and Steven are the only people we've had on the podcast.
Yeah.
So my favorite murder. By the way, I took a really great picture of us, and I just posted it. I think.
Did we know? That's gross.
It's me and Georgia.
Am I picking my nose?
It's me and Georgia backstage. She is my favorite ghost.
Georgina Hoobastank? Oh, there
That's
she
Georgina
is.
Hoobastank right there. Hoobastank.
Spin off.
I turned off my
Fucking asshole. I never called you a fucking asshole for that.
So I grew up near Karen. I grew up just south of her in a place called Marin County. And in Marin County, we have a place called Mount Tamalpais. Yeah.
One.
Just the one.
Been there.
And some really fucking great things happen at Mount Tamalpais.
Yeah.
This says shark attacks. So let's bring up the actual one. Oh, got to go to my email.
Oh, we didn't,
hey, how you guys
tell
doing?
you there's no notes?
No, you guys
You
have
have to
been. You guys have
stand
been
and
reading.
recite.
You guys have been reading Wikipedia. I've been listening. It's not as
closed book.
fluid
I
and as
skim
crazy as it used to
Wikipedia.
be. Right, and then you get Correction Corner.
Yeah. It's made us millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I do a carefully crafted podcast, which makes us much less money than that.
Okay.
That sounds boring.
But it's.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Some guy one time on Twitter, all of a sudden he comes out of nowhere and he goes, "You get a stupid podcast. You just read Wikipedia and you talk about it." And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
That's your new
love
tagline.
Wikipedia.
That's what I'm doing."
Yeah.
Right.
It's fun.
That's it.
But then I got in trouble, so you don't do that anymore. Okay, so I put a date on May 6th, 1930.
Yay!
I can't.
That's called a crossover.
I can't not do that.
It's called a mashup. It's called a
amazing.
crossover. It's called a mixtape.
Okay, so David Carpenter, and you obviously know I was doing this one, because who else would I do from Marin?
Yeah.
So he's born in San Francisco, raised by very strict and aggressive parents. Alcoholic father, beat him up, neglected him. His mother was very domineering and nearly blind.
What?
Yeah.
So that's like,
How to make a murderer.
I mean,
101.
I mean, how did he not murder at 3?
Yeah.
Wait, blind and aggressive. What does that look like? What does it
Messy.
feel like?
It's messy.
There's a lot of punching of you and then like a wall.
A lot of lamps broken in that house.
Not a flower stayed in a vase through his whole childhood. Get over here, I'm punching things.
So when he was 7, he was stuttering so badly, he had a difficult time in any social situation. See, what she just did, I just told her backstage, that's why we don't do really, really terrible murders on the dollop, because neither I or Gareth would go, oh. Ever.
Sucks.
And then it's a different show where you're like, what the fuck are these guys doing?
It's called humanity.
Oh, look, empathy
Try
helps.
it. Empathy?
So he's stuttering horribly. Then he was being ridiculed, which made him painfully reclusive. And to get him over this, his parents forced him into extracurricular activities,
Oh, been there.
such as piano and ballet.
Oh, dude.
That old blind bitch. Fuck her, seriously. That is passive aggression, if not overt aggression.
She can't even see him doing ballet.
I
Why
know.
does she fucking
How
care?
does she enjoy that? Purely for the humiliation.
Yeah.
So oddly, that did not help his crippling stutter. He then began to take out his frustrations on animals, and he became a bedwetter.
Ding dong. We've got 2.
Yeah,
We've
right.
got 2 so far.
Ding
When
dong.
does he hit his head in ballet class? To give us the majestic trifecta of serial killing.
Then when he became a teenager, he started molesting children. He was arrested for molesting his 2 cousins, 3 and 8. He served a year for that crime.
Good.
Oh, as
Perfect.
you do.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're going to enjoy the sentences in this one. And then he was released. He became even more of a predator, continued molesting until he met a woman, Ellen Heatle, who had no sense of anything, and they got married.
Man.
She's like, you seem so fucking weird, and your family is crazy. Let's get married.
I want to lock this down.
He worked at different jobs. He was a ship's purser.
My dad was a ship's person.
He is? I have no idea what it
fuck
is.
is that?
I think you run around giving ladies purses.
No. It's Gopher from the Love Boat. You just carry bags and stuff.
That's it. So you're like a bellboy on a ship.
Right, exactly.
It's
Okay.
a bellboy. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I wasn't sure what it was. I assumed someone here would know.
Karen, turns
me.
out. It's Karen.
He was also a salesman and a printer. He had a very serious need for sex and was very demanding. He needed to have sex 3 times a night.
He
that's
waved it. He saved it all till the nighttime.
Yeah.
He wouldn't sprinkle it throughout.
One morning,
that's-
one after. Like, come on, everyone.
Come
He
on.
needed it at night.
Okay.
The night hours. He's a night fucker.
Trying to read a book over here. It's fucking
When you do what you do, and I'll do what I do.
on.
So, I always find the build up to the people fascinating, how they got there. In the dollop, it's always and then their father died when they were 3.
Right.
Every story.
Yes.
Everyone. And then I assume you guys get a lot of bedwetters.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Hitting heads all the time.
Mean dads, bedwetters.
Oh, man.
We get them all.
Stepdads. Jesus fucking Christ.
So he had 3 children with her. And then he began prowling again. In 1960, he became friends with a woman, Lois Deandrade, and he invited her to meet his wife and started including her in their lives. Then one day, he took her to work, but instead of doing that, he drove her to a wooded area of the Presidio, which at that time was an army base, and pretended like he was lost. At some point, he grabbed her, straddled her, bound her with a clothesline, and using a knife, he threatened her and forced her to be still. He said he had a funny quirk that needed to be satisfied.
Real funny.
It's not ballet, right?
It's not. And then he put on a tutu.
This is terrible.
She then tried to get away, and so he hit her several times with a hammer.
Oh, fuck.
Now, before and during the incident, he completely lost his stutter. His speech was slow and deliberate and angry.
Wow.
Yeah. Thankfully, there was an MP on the base, and he was very suspicious watching the car.
Watching a woman getting hit in the fucking head.
He's like, I don't like the light looks of that knife. I don't know.
I would be too.
She seems to be crying near the knife.
So he heard, and then he heard the cries for help, and he was near, so he came over, and Carpenter got out of the car and shot at him and missed, and then the MP shot back and hit Carpenter in the leg and I think the back. Carpenter was arrested, but he said his excuse was that he blacked out during the whole attack, which is solid.
Yeah, let him go.
It's a solid excuse.
Yeah, oops.
I don't remember hitting her with a hammer.
I think I was napping.
He was given a 14-year sentence.
Not
That's
enough.
it. That's the story.
Yeah. Oh, well, thanks for being here, Dave.
And then for some reason, his wife divorced him. I don't know why. During his stay in prison, psychiatrists reported that Carpenter has a, quote, sociopathic personality disorder and an IQ of 125.
Well, that's too many IQs. You're smart.
That amount makes me nervous.
Yeah.
That many.
That's more than me, for sure. More than I.
In 1969, he was freed after 9 years. Being a catch, he remarried 4 months after getting out.
No, but look, he had been doing push-ups, and he got that one tattoo, and he was like, I'm going to put a cigarette in the corner of my mouth and stuff.
You think it sounds bad, but then if you see prison trim, like just a trim dude,
yeah.
you're like, all right, well,
Yeah.
the other stuff, the stutter, the killing of animals, the molestation,
Yep.
the beating of a woman with a hammer, like
The
that's...
toe shoes.
He looks good. He looks...
Look past it. You can look past it.
Yeah. But in under a year, he returned to his ways, and the marriage was over. Then he hit a woman with his, so there's a woman driving, and he hits her car, and then he pulls her out of it and starts ripping her clothes off in the middle of the road.
Terrified of this. I think about this all the time.
What?
Yeah.
Like someone intentionally hitting your car so they can pull all your clothes off.
Oh, I mean, but who doesn't? They like, I was at State Farm Insurance the other day, and they brought that up.
What a common accident situation.
Yeah,
that
they're
is.
like, have you? I know you've been any fender benders, but has anybody ripped your clothes off? And I was like, no.
Have you been
Thankfully, not yet.
There was a bender pulley offer. What?
Where are you?
I'm going to describe that as a unique anxiety that you have. So she fought him, and then he stabbed her. She somehow
I have
managed...
an anxiety about that. I'm a weirdo that way.
She managed to get back in her car and get away, and she got his license plate.
Fuck yeah.
That kind of shit fucking amazes
Yeah.
me.
Can she email us and tell her to call us, please?
Like,
She's like, she probably had like crazy like 30/20 vision, and she was just like, just like blowing people up with her mind. It's like, you're gonna pull my clothes off. I'll fucking memorize every letter on your license plate.
Amazing. His license plate was like a vanity plate of like, I'm a killer.
Love to kill. One.
so figuring that he was probably up Schitt's Creek at this point, he broke into a home, kidnapped and raped a woman, and stole her car. 2 days later, he snatched Sharon O'Donnell and held her with a shotgun, but when he tried to switch license plates on his car, she escaped. He then stole another car. Later that day, he kidnapped and raped another woman, and he was arrested later that day. This was February 3rd, 1970.
He was going for it.
Top day.
you have those days where like, I'm going to fucking tick every check mark on my to-do list?
I'm going to get shit done today. I'm sick of it. I will go to Home Depot. I will drop those clothes off at the Goodwill. I will rape a ton of people. I just have to do it.
Oh no, but this is the podcast where we get fucking thrown because we're just like being so mean right now.
Too bad.
Okay.
I can't live that way. I can't live under that pressure. I've got to be me.
That's why this works.
So he was sentenced to 7 years for kidnap and robbery, and he pled out. He also received 2 more years for his parole violations. He got out in May 1979, but was not listed as a sex offender.
No.
God.
I mean, why would you?
No, he didn't do anything.
I mean,
He offended, but it wasn't sexual. So
he took up hiking as a hobby.
Alone in the woods. Perfect.
Right. But not like other people. He liked the seclusion of the wilderness because it
To
helped
dress
him
like a
grab
clown.
women.
He was a clown hiker.
He liked to grab women, so that's the perfect place. Just 3 months after being released, while living at a halfway house, he committed his first murder. On August 19th, 1979, Etta Kane, 44, was walking on the trails of Mount Tamalpais, which overlooks Golden Gate Bridge, which is also where I grew up riding mountain bikes, right next to my house, which is also where I asked my wife to marry me. I didn't tell her this part.
That's why it works.
I mean, I love you, and there's some other stuff we'll get to later. Like a week, we'll talk about it. But this is a weird spot. So Etta was alone, and she was attacked from behind, forced to get on her knees, and beg for her life. And then he shot her in the back of the head, execution style.
Fucking dick.
Yeah. Her body was found the next day. He had taken $10 from her wallet, credit cards, and her glasses, and left very little evidence. Witnesses said they saw 2 lone men. One was blonde and acting strange. The other had on a dark blue jacket that made him sweat, and he hid his face.
Which one is it?
I mean, clearly the guy walking around acting strange was smoking pot, and then the guy hiding his face is the fucking killer.
Yeah.
Well, there's one guy acting weird with his blonde, and there's another guy that's like,
Also, wearing a jacket when it's hot, it
Right.
creeps me out so bad.
Oh,
Like
creepiest.
that immediately gave me a stomach ache to think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, only the fucked up people wear jackets when
Just
it's hot.
like a weird jacket.
No, you're a murderer. They should be able to just arrest people who are wearing jackets
You're
on
a
hot
murderer
days.
or you're anorexic and you're fucking cold all the time. And
Yeah,
like,
that's
seek
right.
some help, man.
Either way, they should arrest them both.
Totally.
I just spit on my iPad.
Said from us.
So this guy was clearly Carpenter. For a brief time, people living in the area were freaked out, including young Dave Anthony. But then things went back to normal. Like nothing happened, everything went by, and then everyone started walking the trails again. He was released from the halfway house he was living in. So when he did that, he was living in a halfway house, and he went to live with his parents.
Remember,
I'd be proud of him.
old blind bitch?
Right.
And whoever the dad was?
Yeah, why would you? Okay.
Got to go to the source.
She's like, you can live here again, but you have to do ballet more.
Put on this apron.
He somehow found a way to pass as a normal, productive citizen. He took courses in computer printing at a trade school and graduated with a degree. Then in spring, he went back to killing. In March, I mean, you
Like
get
pressing
stuff
print
done,
is boring.
right? You get stuff done, and then you're like, I got to get back to my hobby.
This computer printing is really stressing me out. I got to relax.
In March, 23-year-old Barbara Schwartz was walking on Mount Tam when a thin, athletic man walked up to Schwartz, and her dog started barking at him. He had dark hair and wore hiking boots. He quickly just started stabbing her with his 10-inch knife.
Fuck, man.
She was stabbed 12 times. She collapsed, and he ran off, and she was dead. Now, the reason we know this is because this was all seen by a woman who was standing in the trees.
Wait, what?
Watching.
What?
So some woman just was sitting there standing in the trees. I mean, look, everybody's a weirdo.
That was a misprint in the fucking newspaper, I promise you.
What they didn't say is she had a wet nightgown on. Ma'am, are you all right? There haven't been women around here in 25 years. There's no woman in the trees. What a terrible story this is.
And that's the tag on our podcast. What a terrible story.
What a terrible story.
It's not a great one. I never thought I'd be reading this in front of 400 people.
This is not 400 people. There's no...
No, that's your anxiety talking. Seen by a woman in the trees. Unfortunately, she described Carpenter horribly, and the investigation would be misled for years because of her terrible description.
Shocking. She's crazy.
Other people in the area said they saw a man wearing glasses who looked about 40. That was Carpenter. The knife was found days later.
Could that woman have been like an egret or something? They're just like a bird standing in the forest. That's a terrible description. So mustache, yes? I don't. Okay.
So the knife was found days later, and a TV reporter handled it, destroying the fingerprints.
No.
This is 1970?
This is 79.
The guy's
Jesus.
like, touching. He's just like super into touching things.
What a story.
Yeah.
They're going to love this across the bay. 1979 is not that long ago.
No.
We're not. This isn't Jack the Ripper.
Oh, no. We totally had fingerprints figured out at that point.
But other than that, just touch away. Whoever gets there first.
Carpenter also lost his prison-issued glasses during the attack. And what's so crazy is as a child, from the sketches, I totally remember the glasses.
Yes.
You're wearing them, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, weird time to bring up, this is my hero. So the next day he went to an optometrist. Barbara Schwartz optometrist, the woman he had killed, to get new glasses.
No.
On purpose?
No.
No.
Total just happenstance.
What the fuck?
Now, he had a very unique prescription, and had the optometrist, who was questioned by police, been told about his unique prescription,
up.
he probably wouldn't have been able to finger Carpenter right there and then. And they had the glasses, because the glasses came off. So the cops had the prescription, but they never thought to be like, what do you think about a 70-30?
Oh, my God.
So now, again, people living around the area are totally freaked out, not going near Mount Tam again. And then, again, time goes by, and people start going back to Mount Tam.
The flowers are so pretty.
It's hard to stay away. There's great trees, and there's a woman standing... an egret-like woman standing in it with a wet robe.
Wet robe. It's fine.
So on October 15th, 26-year-old Ann Alderson was sitting alone watching the sunset.
Don't do it.
A witness saw her and also saw a weird 50-year-old man, but decided against warning her.
Oh, well.
The
Wrong call.
But I'm sure he led a fine life with just him and his bottle of whiskey. Just sitting there going, oh, glug, glug, glug.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
You would
to
never
think that
forgive yourself.
You were that
No.
Of course
Never.
not.
Never,
It's
never.
awful. That's the thing is like, then just be rude, go up to people and be
Yeah.
like, hi, I know this makes me the weirdo, but there's a weirdo over there.
Yeah.
You make the call who you hate or run away from. But
as a dude, you walk over and go, hey, there's a really weird guy right
come in close while I describe the guy.
Can I drive you home?
Let me drive you away from the creek.
He's got curly hair and glasses and like gray pants and a maroon I totally understand why you wouldn't say it, but I also just, ugh.
What are the fucking chances, man, that you see a weird... Like, I see a weirdo multiple times a day.
Yeah.
Looking in the mirror. No.
Okay, so Anne was an escalation. She was raped and then allowed to dress again and then shot with a single bullet through the head. He took her right earring and then propped her up to make it look like she was sitting against a rock. She also appeared to have been shot while begging for her life.
No.
And he was just getting rolling. Shauna May was supposed to meet friends on November 28th in Point Reyes National Seashore to go hiking. She was found 2 days later. She was nude and had been raped and bound with picture frame wire, shot 3 times in the head, and dumped into a trench. Right beside her body was a second young woman, 22-year-old Diana O'Connell. She had also gone missing, this time while hiking with friends.
What?
Oh, this is the worst. One of her friends was faster and got ahead of her on the path.
Cunt.
And her other friend...
Am I wrong? She's kind of
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
You're not? Because I had total empathy for that person. I was like, man, she just wanted to get up the top. And you guys were
Oh,
like,
congratulations, you're up there.
Yeah. We're talking about like my new boy I'm dating, and you're just like, bye.
Bye.
Fuck you.
Watch my calves. REI. Fuck you.
okay. Then what about her other friend who was slower that was behind her?
Oh no.
Who's the cunt now?
I can't choose anymore. There's so many to pick from.
It's a weird thing to go hiking with your friends and then you all
No,
split up.
we don't do that.
That's why I don't hike.
Or have friends.
It's not worth it.
So she also disappeared. Her friends saw nothing because they were so far ahead and behind.
So
and
either friend,
No
it was
one's-
as if they were all
she was
going,
gone.
and then the middle
and they got to the
person-
top and they're like,
That's
where
so
is she?
scary.
That's horrifying.
Yoink,
Horrifying.
like off the trail.
And it was supposed to be horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diana had been shot twice in the head. A hiker nearby heard all the shots, and it appears Carpenter had killed them, both the girls, at the same time.
Wait,
So the 2 girls were sitting side by side in a trench, and he had killed them both at once. Yeah.
Shit, man.
Diana had also been strangled and raped. The police concluded one of the women had interrupted Carpenter attacking the other woman, so he killed them both.
Yep.
That's,
I just really quick. Yeah. I wish we had a slideshow of Mount Tam right now because it is the most gorgeous.
It's amazing.
Place. It's so beautiful.
the place where they take all the pictures of San Francisco, where you of the Golden Gate Bridge, and then you see San Francisco behind it. That's Mount Tam.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
That's where
it's
Elvis
got
is
redwood
from.
trees. It's the most for natural, whatever wonder. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just the most incredible one. Like we would go on field trips there all the time in grammar school.
Mountain bikes were invented there.
Really?
It's mountain bikes were invented.
So
in
the
Mount
idea
Tam.
that this man is that fucking like angry that he's going to like God's most perfect place and fucking hiding and picking people off.
And we all were just like, hey, you want to go to Mount Tam for the day? And you would just go walking and hiking on. Like everybody would just be Mount Tam was just you'd go there for the day and just hike
walk around.
and cruise.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Scary.
Okay. So that same day, 2 more bodies were found a half mile away.
Jesus.
Both had been shot in the head.
What the fuck?
He's in his berserker mode.
Yeah,
He's going
he's
going crazy.
Creepo bananas, I think they call it in court.
You're a circuit court judge?
I am a circuit court judge.
Cool.
This was my case. This might be unethical. But for the first time, one of them was male. Richard Stowers was 18. His fiancée, Cynthia Moreland, was 18. Also, they had been missing for quite some time, since October 11th. Ballistic now tied the murders together, and suddenly everyone realized there was a serial killer on the loose on Mount Tam. Police were told to avoid the area alone.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I have a problem with that one.
Wait, police were told to.
Oh, sorry, people.
There we go.
But also, I assume
there we
police
go.
also. You know what? I just want to say this: police are people. But
There's all these hiking cops that are like, I gotta go up there, man. No, please, I have to warn you.
But also, like, they just found two people who were killed together,
Yeah.
and then another girl. It was with two other of her friends. So not even alone.
No,
Like,
buddy
don't go.
system is not going to help
Also,
you.
he has a gun. Like,
Yeah.
if it's like a knife, one of you can like skedaddle. But like, if there's a gun, you're
No, yeah.
both fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just-
So the press named him the Trailside Killer. Local police reached out to the FBI for help. Okay. The FBI came up with a profile. They said he was shy, reclusive, and probably had a speech impediment. And was unsure of himself in social situations. He had no victim type. It was about opportunity. He was like a spider waiting for a fly to come to his web. He was white, intelligent, blue collar, and had been in prison. He would have also had a... oh boy, that's a word that corrected itself on this thing. It would have had 2 or 3 boyhood indicators of starting a fire, bedwetting, and animal cruelty.
Yes.
So he had 2 of the 3.
Yeah.
The profiler concluded he had a speech impediment because of the locations of the attacks. Quote, he has some kind of defect that really bothers him.
How do they know
They're
that?
so good because they're so good.
When I read, I was just like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
Bananas.
They just know.
They were like sitting at a table across from him, and they were like, "Tell us about yourself."
Yeah, that's what they do. They just interview all the criminals that come through on that like high level. There's like a whole
crazy.
department at the FBI that's just all about it, and it's
Because he's
fucking
killing in the
fascinating.
woods, like, well, the guy's
Yes.
got a lisp.
Yes.
Like, what?
Yes. Isn't that awesome?
It's
Isn't that
fucking
amazing?
Amazing.
Yes.
And
It's
then
amazing.
the FBI guy did this, and the local cop had been like, he's a partier. He likes going out on boats. Like, it was totally not even remotely
He's my
close.
brother-in-law. I'm positive.
Wears a backwards hat. Listens to a lot of Sammy Hagar.
He's got a boat truck.
On March 29th, 1981, Ellen Marie Hansen and Stephen Hurtle, students at UC Davis, were hiking in Santa Cruz. Now, this is about 80 miles south of Mount Tam. Carpenter walked up to them and threatened them with a gun, demanding Ellen let him rape her. She was not down with the plan. Steve begged to be let go, and then Carpenter shot Ellen point blank twice in the head. Steve ran away, and he was shot in the neck, but he did not die.
Wow.
Steve gave police a great description of Carpenter, unlike the fucking woman in the woods who was like, he looks like a hawk.
Oh no!
She had seen someone be stabbed 12 times.
Yeah,
Slow-mo.
that'll fuck it
Makes you
up.
squint.
But
And then you can't get anybody's facial features correct.
And she was
True.
in a tree the whole fucking time.
oh, did I not mention she had grown into the tree?
Oh.
Yeah, she was part of the tree.
Oh, she was some kind of an orc thing? Was she from Middle Earth?
She was an ent.
Oh, is it Ent?
I got deep into it. Others came forward and said they had seen Carpenter in the area and fleeing in a foreign car. Someone said the foreign car was a Fiat, which is hilarious because those are very popular in Marin. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Fiats.
Yeah.
A composite was placed in newspapers and run on TVs, right? So now they have his drawing out there. It's running everywhere. A woman then called police and said she had met that man on a cruise to Japan 26 years earlier.
What?
And that was the woman in the forest. You doubted her, but she came back hard.
Sorry.
She's back.
She's making right
Yep.
on her wrong.
And she said that the man had been bothering her and her daughter with inappropriate behavior, and he had a stutter, and he was a ship's purser.
Fuck.
And it was my dad. That's why I love
And
it so.
he used to be a fireman.
What?
Mr. Kilgariff.
And she had his signature in a book, which she still had.
Why did that happen? How long?
I don't
used to-
know.
They used to love to get serial killer signatures before they really kicked it off. That was
know.
this thing in the 60s.
Can't
This
even.
is the point when you're writing a script and you go, let's just hustle it along. What about a lady on a Chinese cruise that met the guy 26 years? Yeah, let's do
Chinese.
that.
People don't go on
Now
cruises
Chinese.
anymore. No. Just have them do it.
Okay, but there were a lot of men named David Carpenter in Northern California. So Carpenter then grew a beard. On May 2nd, Heather Roxanne Skaggs told her boyfriend, she was 20, what's going on over there? Oh, I thought you guys were up to something.
Oh, I'm hanging out, man.
I saw it in the corner of my eye. I don't know. You were
I'm
looking at each
chilling.
other and okay.
Yeah, we're going to jump on your back. But not right now. We're planning it for later.
Don't worry about it.
I'm going to move my chair. So Heather Roxanne Skaggs, 20, tells her boyfriend she's going to see David Carpenter to buy a used car. She was a student at a place where Carpenter taught people how to use computer typesetting machines. What the fuck kind of crazy time is this? Before leaving, she gave her boyfriend the number and that address of David Carpenter and when she expected to return. Who the fuck does that unless they're creeped out by the guy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're never like...
Here's all the information of this person I'm going to meet.
She did not return.
Oh, honey.
The boyfriend went and confronted Carpenter, which is fucking ballsy beyond words. Like,
good for him.
Did you kill my girlfriend? Carpenter said she had never come, and then the boyfriend called police. Carpenter's name raised a flag, as did Heather being lured, and Carpenter looked exactly like the composite drawing. Police then contacted his parole officer, who immediately realized Carpenter fit into everything police were saying.
But just then,
Just
when
then,
they
at
called
that
on the
point.
phone, and not at any point earlier.
Oh my God! You talking about Murdery David?
Wait a second.
Oh!
He kept
Fuck, that
inviting
guy
me.
creeps me out.
Shoot, you know what? I should have thought of this before. I'm sorry.
I stopped watching the news because it depresses me, but now I realize.
Oh my
Take
God!
it in all the
Yeah,
time.
I
You know, he
But-
came in Wednesday covered in blood, and I was like, "This seems."
But then I had my book club, and I don't know. It all just kind of slipped my mind.
Yeah. I don't care about anything anymore. So unfortunately, this is where it's fucked up. Unfortunately, Carpenter.
where it's fucked up.
No, I mean, this is where government records. You're like, really, guys? So, unfortunately, Carpenter had not shown up in the records of released inmates when they initially looked due to a technicality. He had been released by California prisons to serve a federal sentence, so he was technically in federal custody, so they didn't count him as a released prisoner. So they could have, with the records, found him. Because that first woman he killed, he left his prison-issued glasses, and they could have tracked him down right there.
This is just like a Three's Company I saw once. It just this insane misunderstanding. Except for...
Oh, you ropers.
Come on.
So, the multi-agency task force started following him. Then one day they saw him carrying a bag, and they approached him, and they told him he was under arrest. And at first he was confused, and then he said, "Please don't hurt me."
Dick.
I bet they punched him right in the face.
God.
Yeah.
The pieces quickly fell into place. There was tons of evidence. Everyone who saw him was brought in to identify him. Stephen Hurdle, who had been shot in the neck, ID'd him out of a lineup. 6 out of 7 witnesses did the same. Carpenter was formally charged in the murder and attempted murder in Santa Cruz. At his arraignment, he stuttered so badly he had a difficult time answering the judge's questions, which was simply to agree that his name was as stated. Heather Skaggs' body was found a couple of weeks later. His total number of murder victims was 9. He was tried in San Diego because of you could not do it in Marin. He was convicted and sentenced to die in the gas chamber, and he's still on death row in San Quentin.
Is he still alive?
Still alive.
And he's our next guest. Everyone.
Davey, get out here! Get out here! You fucking scamp!
You son of a bitch! What is your problem? Fuck.
So
That's fucked up, man.
that was between that one and I'm sure you guys had the Richard Ramirez. Were you here then?
Sure.
That was fucking
No,
terrifying.
I'm a baby. That one, I've never heard that one before. That was amazing.
But no one knows about that one.
Yeah, I've never heard of
Do
it.
you want to hear something really weird?
I'm from
When the
SoCal.
Hillside Stranglers were, out in L.A., I was like, how the fuck can they call him? We got our Trailside guy. Like, I literally had a moment of, you can't do that.
It's our thing.
You can't steal our
Property.
name.
It's your property.
But yeah, that was like so for like a year and a half, we didn't go near the place that we all hung out on.
That's
Yeah.
Because we were
crazy.
terrified
I
of
bet
being
you drank
murdered.
a lot less beer that summer. Is it a summer? I don't know.
Well, I mean, a year and a half is
What? Just
it's a
say it.
long summer.
That's bananas. I've never heard of that before.
He was super bananas. I don't know why it kind of flew under the radar.
Yeah.
And I remember being really weirded out that he was caught in Santa Cruz. Like he
went to the other place that looked exactly like Mount Tam.
Exactly like Mount Tam.
It looks exactly the same. It has all these redwood trees, and it's like it's amazing looking.
The little carnival there.
Yes, there's a yes.
What?
That's right.
Yes.
Yes.
The Santa Cruz Boardwalk?
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about? Yeah. Yeah.
Why are you laughing at me?
I guess I'm a little confused. There is a carnival area.
Yeah. But yeah, and yet
He would go down and ride the roller coaster sometimes.
it just doesn't encompass.
Yeah,
it's just not the whole area.
it's not Santa Cruz.
Well, there's also mountains.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. Why would I care about mountains? You know, there's TV you can watch in your apartment, and it's fucking great. You don't get murdered all the time. I'm sorry. Am I wrong?
No, it's totally fine. It makes sense.
Good one, Dave.
Was it?
Yeah.
I feel uncomfortable.
Why? I mean, it's okay.
It's great.
That's how it is.
Because so our rule on the dollop is no child killings or doing horrible things to children, no serial killers, and no sexual assaults.
You're on the wrong podcast, bro.
Yeah.
But those are our rules.
Really?
So it's very weird for me to read that.
Yeah.
I feel really good right now.
I feel dirty.
It's
I think there's something about being a guy knowing that guys do that to women, and you're like, it feels gross.
Say you're sorry.
I'm sorry.
And now it's fine.
Sorry.
That's really all we're looking
I feel so
for.
free.